Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about the abrasive side and earworm. First, I'm going to talk about the abrasive side. Enjoy. In the beginning of the episode, SpongeBob is waiting at the bus stop to go to Glove World. A fish steps on SpongeBob's face, not realizing he was there since he was sleeping on the ground. SpongeBob informs him of this and he steps off his face. SpongeBob tells him he spent the night there, so he would be first in line as he promised Patrick that they would be first in line, and first to get on the bus. The man says, interesting stuff. Say, do you mind if I cut in front of you? SpongeBob tries to say no, but he ends up letting the fish cut him anyways, making him behind the other fish. Then a lot of fish come and cut in front of him. Patrick comes and asks SpongeBob why he is not first, like he promised. SpongeBob says he's sorry but they'll still be able to catch the first bus. Patrick, now no longer mad at SpongeBob for breaking his promise, becomes happy, and the bus comes, so they run to it. They almost get in the bus, but then Sandy comes and asks SpongeBob for him to do Operation Acorn Smoothie. SpongeBob says no, but after a guilt trip from Sandy, he unhappily agrees. He tells Patrick he'll be on the next bus, so Patrick goes to Glove World. Without SpongeBob, after the situation with Sandy, he goes back to the bus stop. Then Mr. Krabs asks SpongeBob to say no to Pearl about the new shoes that she desperately wants. Afterwards, he goes back to the bus stop and his grandma asks him to help her cross the road. SpongeBob, as usual, says no, but then his guilt trips into helping anyways. Patrick returns and is mad at SpongeBob for making him go to Glove World by himself. SpongeBob says he's sorry but people kept asking him to do things. Patrick tells SpongeBob that sometimes he just has to say no, and he needs to grow thicker skin. Then it reminds him to ask SpongeBob to scratch his back, which SpongeBob does. Later, he is shown at his house crying to Gary about how he can't say no to anything anyone asks him. Gary then goes to a catalog and orders something for SpongeBob, which turns out is an adhesive fabric named Abrasive Sponge, which is an abrasive side designed for doormat sponges to stick on their backs and strengthens their attitudes. SpongeBob feels this is perfect for his situation, so he sticks it on his back, and it begins to insult Gary. SpongeBob is oblivious to this and goes off after saying goodbye to him. He goes out and Pilar asks him to carry his groceries for him. His body rotates and the abrasive face says, "Carry 'em yourself, fish face." For SpongeBob, he does the same for Larry, who asked him to help him put sun lotion on, Grandma, who asked for help crossing the street, and Sandy, who asked him to help her with a science invention. However, the abrasive side simply launches nasty insults at them, leaving them baffled, while Sandy's head vanishes when her dropped laser misfires and pierces her helmet. He then goes into the Krusty Krab, where Mr. Krabs asks him to do a 17-hour extra shift. SpongeBob says yes, but then his abrasive side rejects the offer unless Mr. Krabs pays him for overtime. Mr. Krabs is confused for he never heard this word before, so he goes into his office and looks it up on a dictionary. When he discovers that it leads to his financial loss, Mr. Krabs is terrified at this disgusting word. SpongeBob goes home and Squidward sarcastically says, "Oh, fun. I suppose you want me to play some stupid game, or you'll just follow me around all day and never ever leave, huh?" The abrasive sponge angrily taunts, "'Fraid not, Schnozward. I wouldn't hang out with you for all the money in Krab's mattress." Relieved that SpongeBob did not bother him, Squidward hugs him in tears of joy saying, "You don't know how long I've waited to hear those words." Patrick says it's time for their play date. SpongeBob talks but the abrasive side fights himself. Patrick is terrified and promptly leaves. SpongeBob is confused but goes into his house and goes to the bathroom and stares into the mirror, and realizes that it is causing more trouble than good, mainly because it has a mind of its own. He asks Patrick for help, but the abrasive side scares him away again. SpongeBob then goes to Mr. Krabs for help, who is still cowering at the word overtime. The abrasive face takes over and tells Mr. Krabs he wants overtime. Mr. Krabs screams, then kicks out SpongeBob for using offensive language. Eventually, SpongeBob makes it to a headless Sandy and pulls a string below her helmet to restore her head. After hearing SpongeBob's explanation, Sandy advises him to remove it for good. She pulls it off while he grabs on Patrick, causing him to yell in pain briefly. The abrasive sponge is then packaged and returned to sender. SpongeBob soon remembers owing Grandma an apology and heads to her home, only to discover that she also has attached an abrasive sponge to herself in order to teach him a lesson for being rude to her, which horrifies him, causing him to yell, "No!" in despair as the episode ends. Next, I'm going to talk about Earworm. Enjoy! In the beginning of the episode, SpongeBob is shown at the Krusty Krab during closing time with Mr. Krabs and Squidward. He is in the kitchen and starts singing a song. Squidward gets annoyed by SpongeBob singing. Mr. Krabs comes and says to mop the floor. Squidward tells SpongeBob again to stop singing and then puts on the radio, but it's playing Musical Doodle, so SpongeBob picks up the radio and starts dancing and singing to it. After it ends, SpongeBob sighs happily. Afterwards, Mr. Krabs says it's closing time again and Squidward runs out saying, "Freedom." SpongeBob is sitting down on a table, singing to the song and Mr. Krabs yells his name. SpongeBob floats out of the Krusty Krab and lands outside a record shop. He hears Musical Doodle playing. He then buys the record and goes home, opens up Gary's shell, revealing a record player, and plays the song until bedtime. SpongeBob says, "Come to bed when you feel like it." He goes to sleep but then starts whistling the song. He goes back downstairs to listen to the song again. He is then shown at the Krusty Krab the next day, looking very tired. Mr. Krabs warns him to get to work. Mr. Krabs hears SpongeBob singing the Musical Doodle. He is warned to stop singing that song again, but finds it very hard not to. He hands out Krabby Patties while singing the song, annoying the customers in the process. Mr. Krabs comes out of his office to see what's wrong. All the customers blame SpongeBob for annoying them. Mr. Krabs threatens to send SpongeBob home for the day if he doesn't stop singing the song. In the kitchen, SpongeBob's eyelids form into mouths and start singing the song. The same thing happens with his back. In the next scene, the kitchen is shown absolutely wrecked, with "Doodle" written on the walls and everything else wrecked as well. Also, there are condiments and patty batter all over the wall. After Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob to leave, the latter seems to have completely lost it and does not care, and bursts out of the kitchen and the Krusty Krab like a maniac. He goes home while singing the song. Sandy, Mr. Krabs, Patrick, and Squidward follow him, tie him to a chair, and gag him. Sandy explains that he has an earworm, which is an infection in which someone is stuck on a catchy song and is unable to stop singing. The more the person sings the song, the more infected and stronger the infection gets and more crazier the person gets. Mr. Krabs wants to just pull the earworm out, but Sandy says that they can't do that or else it will damage SpongeBob's brain and it can only be cured if another song gets stuck in their head. Mr. Krabs sings a sea shanty and Sandy sings a western song, but none succeed. Sandy says, someone with musical talent can cure him, in this case, Squidward. Squidward starts playing his clarinet. The earworm gets annoyed and leaves. Squidward is then shown in bed, praising himself. The earworm comes and goes into Squidward for revenge, and now the latter has the earworm and is humming his song. Squidward then screams loudly, inferring he probably found out he caught the earworm. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.